Roll call.
Mayor Ball,
Here.
Vice Mayor Costner,
Here.
Alderman Bug,
Here.
Alderman Gregg,
Here.
Alderwoman Holt,
Here.
Alderman Morgan.
Here.
Mayor Ball, we have a quorum.
Thank you. Item 3 on the agenda, under item A, is to approve the minutes of the previous meetings. This one being the regular session, July the 10th, 2012. Do we have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion.
2 motions.
I'll second.
Okay. Any discussion or corrections or anything with the minutes? All those in favor indicate by saying yes.
Yes.
Opposes no. I hear none. Item B under 3 is a special call meeting, July the 24th, 2012. Do we have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion or corrections? All those in favor indicate by saying yes.
Yes.
Opposes no. Item 4, recognition of city employee.
Chief Reagan.
Our employee of the month this month is firefighter Torrin Hedgepath. Torrin, for the past year and this year, is leading all our firefighters together take up the cause as far as doing the Toys for Tots and all the charity work type that we do throughout the year. And this year, Torrin's leading that, and he's done really, really well. Our golf tournament actually did better this year than maybe it ever has, and we really appreciate it. And Torrin, come on down here.
Good job, Torrin. Torrin is one of my former students at Edgemont, and it took several beatings to get him to this point, but proud of you, Torrin. Item 5 is a report from City Administrator Scott Collins.
Mayor, Board of Aldermen, we have a few things that's going on right now that is been long awaited, but we're moving forward on. The first being Tim Dockery, Mark Robinson, Jeremy Sheldon recently met with Dennis Hunter, PhD environmentalist, and he is walking us through the process for the cleanup of the Tanner Cultural Center. The bids are out public. We've let public bids both in the newspaper, and we've contacted several environmental cleanup specialists to bid on this very important project. And we'll be opening them bids on August 23rd. Another long-awaited project is under construction at this time, and that's the downtown signalization plan. TDOT has people on site. They were working today, and they're also coordinating with Newport Utilities to restore the light at the Mims Hotel for a safe pedestrian crossing for our senior citizens. The next thing, please bear with me just a minute, but Showcase on the River, our 3rd annual event, is gearing up to be something very special. First and foremost, our sponsors this year has been phenomenal. The response from the community has bigger, best yet. And with that said, I would just like to mention, other than the city of Newport, the people that's helping make this 3rd annual Showcase on the River possible. Newport Utilities is sponsoring God, Family, and Country Day. That'll be on Sunday, August 19th. And that's where we come together, have some great gospel music, and then we do a fantastic patriotic tribute to our veterans. And this year we're doing a special tribute to our World War II veterans, complete with the USO show led by Sarah Stokely. We've always had the canoes. I believe Alderman Bugg and his grandson can attest to that. But this year, due to the generosity of McSpadden Incorporated, we're having paddle boats and also tubing on the river. Bush's is sponsoring Heritage Hall, to where we've got a lot of great artifacts will be set up, displays of historical people, and of course Coach Prophet will be here spinning some good tales for us. The Fun Zone is being brought to you by Newport Paving and Ready Mix. This year it's being expanded. We're going to have a 24-foot red, white, and blue slide out here in the front parking lot, in addition to a water slide this year. It's the first time we've done that. We're having our first ever Showcase on the River pageant. Ages 0 to 19 can enter to be the first ever Miss Showcase. So we're really looking forward to that, and that's being brought to you by Platinum Star Productions. And then, of course, two of our all-time favorites, National Bank of Tennessee is bringing us the Pirates of the Pigeon cardboard boat race. And entries have doubled from last year, so it'll be a show to see. And last on the special interest, Cindy Moyers is bringing us the Cornhole Toss Tournament, and there's going to be some great competition competing for over $1,000 in prizes. Entertainment lineup is just fantastic this year. We'll have the Pirates of the Pigeon right after the opening ceremony. Then we'll have the Showcase Beauty Pageant, and then later in the afternoon will be Hannah Rowland and family, Clark and Miller, Sammy Schultz, James Rogers, then Jimbo Whaley. On Sunday, we'll have Roy Poor, Spirit of the Smoky, then our tribute to our veterans, and then Old Town will close us out with some great gospel music. A couple more quick things to mention. TWRA, several of you have probably already seen it. They're going to have an aquarium out front this year with fish directly from the Pigeon River. That's the first this year. And also, when y'all come down on Sunday, you'll be able to say hi to Smokey Bear. He's setting up a campsite, and there'll also be about 25-foot inflatable Smokey here. There's a whole lot more going on. I encourage everybody to check us out on Facebook or visit our website, or give us a call here with any questions or information. That's all I have on Showcase. Now, the last thing is, recently, this community came together like none other. And I was privileged to be able, with some of our employees, accept an award on behalf of the city of Newport. And at this time, I'd like to share this award with the folks that made it possible, and that's, of course, the Board of Mayor and Aldermen. This was presented to the city of Newport in appreciation for all of your contributions to the Brandon Williams Home 2012. Mayor, I'd like to give this for you to share with the board.
Okay. Thank you, Scott.
Thank you, sir. That's all I have at this time.
Anyone have any questions for Scott? I have got a letter here that I'd like to share with the council and all those present this evening. This is from David Veradal and Ricky Morris. We'd like to express our sincere appreciation to Mr. Ben Hicks and his staff over the past year for their support in assisting us hauling off brush and trees, 376 total trees, from the Cobb County High School Stadium Bank. Ben and his staff stepped up every time they were asked. That spirit and attitude will always create a good outcome in every endeavor. Okay, there is no old business. Let's move to new business. Item A is consideration of resolution. Oh, I'm sorry, I did. That's why I've got you here. I did make an appointment about a month or so ago. Alan Hudson, who serves on the Newport Regional Planning Commission, had to resign due to his duties at his job, and I've made an appointment of Ben Rick Carr to serve on that. Ben, oh, I've got Ben Hicks on my mind. Rick, would you stand up, please? He'll be serving on that planning commission. Thank you, Rick. Item A, consideration of resolution 2012-08 applying for funding to the USDA Rural Development for Community Improvement Projects. What's council's,
I'll make the motion.
okay.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying yes.
Yes.
Opposed is no. I hear none. Item B is consideration of application to the Tennessee Municipal Bond Fund for municipal improvement projects. Do we have a motion to approve that?
I'll make the motion.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying yes.
Yes.
Opposed is no. Item C is consideration of first reading of ordinance 2012-05 hotel motel tax.
And Mayor, I'll read the caption of the ordinance into the record. That's ordinance number 2012-05. An ordinance levying a privilege tax upon the occupancy in any hotel or motel or in any place in which rooms, lodgings, or accommodations are furnished to transients for a consideration.
Okay, do we have a motion to approve this on first reading?
Do we have SIDS?
He has gave a verbal recommendation that, to move forward with it. Yes, sir.
Do we have a motion to approve on first reading?
I thought we'd already approved this thing for the first reading. It's the same thing we approved the first time. I
But
don't
we-
understand
It
why.
was tabled, I believe, wasn't
Well,
it?
it was actually voted down. We didn't have the required votes on it.
Oh, okay.
It requires 4 votes to approve it, and when we voted on it before, it only had 3. So we need a motion, a second, and 4 votes to approve it.
Did we have a motion?
Sure. No, not yet.
Last call for a motion.
Scott, what did Sid say exactly?
Sid Hemsley's the senior legal consultant with the Municipal Technical Advisory Service, and the question was posed to him if revenue from the hotel motel tax could be used to offset the expense the city incurs on lighting the interstate exits on Interstate I-40. And Mr. Hemsley did confirm, he researched it and did confirm that yes, that would be a great use of the motel hotel tax to help tourism.
He said he was willing to put that in writing.
Yes, yes, certainly.
Do we have a motion? Okay, it dies for lack of a motion. Item D, consideration of first reading of ordinance 2012-09, amending zoning regulation. Do we have a motion to approve that?
Mayor, excuse me, let me read that
Okay.
caption into the record. It's ordinance number 2012-09, an ordinance to amend the zoning regulations of the city of Newport to include new guidelines for off-premises directional signs for commercial use.
Do we have a motion?
What did the planning commission say on that, Mark? They,
The planning commission voted on this, approved it, ordered to go before first reading. There was, let me see, they requested the people that were requesting the off-premise sign to check with all of the businesses and get a yes or no from them. Because one of the concerns was, as soon as this sign goes up, some of the other tenants will say, hey, that looks good, I want mine on there too. And that would cause a problem.
the lady that came, she's already took care of that, right?
No,
her name.
she didn't check around with the other tenants, is what I understood. She wasn't present, she had two assistants there, so we couldn't really get that information.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Do we have a second?
I'll say,
Any discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying yes.
yes.
Opposed is no. I hear none. Item E is consideration of tidy waste contract. Do we have a motion or discussion concerning that?
Scott, is that contract with them good?
Yes, sir, and this will allow us to use the transfer station for the purpose it was designed for. It'll make our operations more cost efficient and less labor intensive.
Right now, we're not doing that, are we?
No, sir.
I read this right, they're gonna supply the push bucket and all that stuff.
Yes.
I'll make a motion.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? And Patrick McGuffin is here if anybody had any questions of him.
If you've never been to see our waste now where it used to be when I first started as councilman, they'd put the trash on the ground, and we knew that this council knew that would never work. And now it's got a concrete pad. They come down and put the trash on the concrete pad. They've got a transfer station off down in it. It's going to save the city and the county a lot of money, and that's just, it's just a great thing. I mean, it's really something we should have been done a long time ago. If you just go out and see how it works, it's fantastic.
Thank you, Johnny. All those in favor indicate by saying yes.
Yes.
Opposed is no. I hear none. You have 3 items on the consent agenda, 3 roadblocks, Forward Hope Frontlines Global Mission, Cobb County High School volleyball team, and Long Creek Volunteer Fire Department. Do we have a motion to approve those?
I'll make a motion. I'll second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying yes.
Yes.
Opposed is no. I hear none. The floor is open for comments from citizens.
Mayor,
Yes.
whenever I hear signs, I start perking up. An off-premise sign is what we have at West End. I don't know what this says. Can we get it read? Can I get a copy of it? I've been trying to get a hold of Mark today, but he's been out of copy, so. But I need to know what it says. If the paper didn't indicate it, I don't know what the planning commission passed to you all. And I know the folks that are involved in it. I told them that I would try to help them all I could with the beauty shop up there. But I don't know what it says. So can we get that read?
Yeah, Mark can get you a copy of
You
that.
had your first reading,
Yes.
but I ain't heard it read yet. So I'd like to know what it means, what it says. Can I ask him, does this have anything to do with the digital signs of the reader boards? No. This is only that sign up there at the
Off-premise sign regulations dealing strictly with directional down the street to, not advertise, let traffic know that there's businesses that you can't see from the main road.
which is what we have. So
The electronic digital sign that was on the wall, allowance for co-op, and that's a different thing.
that is not involved in this.
No.
Okay.
Any other citizens to comment? Yes, ma'am. Step to the mic and state your name, please.
My name is Patsy Degrapon, and I don't know if I'm out of line, and, I've never been to any meeting. But I was curious to know, when are y'all going to start the new shopping center and build the new exit on 40?
The 438,
Yes.
that's all in the plan. I mean, there's no specific date set from the state on exactly when. Sherry, you want to answer that?
Yes, that will be up to Tennessee Department of Transportation before they start the interchange. And of course, the development is being done by a private developer. It's not being done by the city of Newport or the county government or the county partnership. So Mr. Vanderwood, who is the developer, he has plans that he will start developing his part of the property as soon as Tennessee Department of Transportation starts developing the interchange. I don't have a time frame on that, though. I can't tell you that.
And there was a few issues that had to be ironed out over the connector roads and the property owners where the connector roads were going to go. So that's in the works now to get that corrected. And I think that, Sherry, is...
Well, they're in the environmental phase of determining the route for the connector roads.
In other words, it's not going to be too long.
I can't give you a time frame. I can't say 5 years. I can't say 2 years. Because we all know when the Tennessee Department of Transportation is involved in a project that those dates can move and so forth. So that's the best answer that I can give you this time.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. Any other comments from citizens? Yes, sir.
Mr. Mayor, council members, my name is Roland Dykes III, and I am here for basically informational purposes only, trying basically to bring you guys up to date on some issues that we're very concerned about. Just basically here representing a segment of the community and a newly formed organization that we have chosen to call the Tanner Preservation Alliance. That is many of them who are here today. We have, was glad to hear Scott mention earlier that bids have been let for the cleanup of the building. And we're, as a group and newly formed, we're growing pretty rapidly. We've only been meeting for maybe a few weeks now, but I'm getting phone calls constantly with people who are willing to assist us and willing to assist the city in any way they can in helping to preserve and make that preservation possible. Right now, I think we just want to emphasize how much that building and that structure means to a great segment of the community. It means quite a bit socially, culturally, politically, everything you can name for a large section of the population. And we want to make sure that the council maybe takes into account how that large section of the population actually feels. We've also formed in conjunction as a subset of that Tanner Alliance group, what we call the Tanner Alumni Association. And just so that there's no misunderstanding, that does not include the black citizens of the community that attended that school when it was predominantly, well, the only black school in town. We're talking about anyone who has had a connection with that property since the integration in 1965, since the senior citizens were there up until the storm, and anyone who has any connection with that property. And as you can see, we have a large cross-section of that community here now. What we wanted to do was basically to let you guys know that we did have that organization in place, and it's not intended to be a confrontational organization. We were formed basically to assist in any way we possibly could and provide any resources we could in trying to preserve that property and bring it back up to speed and hopefully get some use out of it again for the community, for the good of the community. It seems to have been obviously a fairly inordinate amount of time since the storm and the start of the cleanup, and we were all concerned that it was going to be too late at some point. But apparently the process has started. We're glad to hear that, and we'd like to be involved in any way we possibly can. Scott was good enough to copy me on the email that he got from the PhD involved in that bid letting process, and we're glad to hear about that. However, we would like to be put on the agenda. We tried to get on the agenda for this meeting tonight, but unfortunately, I guess we got too late. We asked too late. We'd like to be on the agenda for the next meeting and possibly participate in the workshop. Before, I understand there's a workshop either before the meeting or the day before or before the actual meeting. A week before, okay. I don't know what we have to do to start that process, but we'd like to request to be involved and see if we could participate.
You just started it.
Pardon me?
You just started it. You're on the agenda.
We're on the agenda? Okay.
No problem.
All right. In doing that, at that point, I guess some of the things we'd like to find out, obviously, I've spent most of my career, or all of my career in the private sector, so I'm kind of a novice in municipal government. So we're trying to get some answers, in terms of where we need to go from here. We'd like to know, I know the bid letting process has begun. We'd like to find out, is the ownership of the property, is there a need for outside funding? Will the city pay for this cleanup? How does that process work? And what kind of assistance could we provide in that process? Is there a property insurance provider that was in place when the building was damaged? Was any settlement involved in that kind of thing? I guess at this point, provided, obviously your intentions have been stated here tonight with the bid letting process, that you're serious about restoring that building and starting the remediation efforts, we would really respectfully request to be involved going forward in any communications or anything you would like for us to do. As I said, we have gotten numerous requests from people offering their services in different capacities. At this point, obviously, we cannot, I couldn't tell them anything that we could do because we don't have enough information to go forward. We've just gotten chartered as a group, so we're still in our infancy in trying to do this, but we do have some resources that would be available should you need them or request them. As a concerned citizen and the chairman of that group, I would certainly be available to do anything I could. I'm recently retired, so I have quite a bit of time on my hands, and I could do whatever needs to be done at your request. Thanks for your time and your attention.
We appreciate you, and we will get this set up and going, okay?
Thanks, Tom.
Thank
Roland,
you.
I think that anything that you need, all you have to do is call Scott. Any information you want or need, I think that all the council sitting here would offer it in a second. And I think that's been the case pretty much all along.
Probably has. Like I said, I haven't been involved very long, but I'm just getting up to speed with most of the information, and I was pleasantly surprised to hear about the bid letting. But in any case, is there any other members of the group that would like to say anything? Marie?
Roland, I have one more question for you. Did you say y'all had a charter you're trying to get to nonprofit status?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. We filed for that probably a few days ago. You know what?
Thank you, Roland.
Thank you.
Yes.
Councilman.
My name is Gordon Woods. I was born and raised in Cobb County, or a little wide spot in the road called Parksville, Tennessee. I went to school. There was a school which was just one room. Teachers taught from the first grade through the 8th grade, called Dawson's Valley School. Some of y'all may know where it's at. Okay, now, the age don't have nothing to do with it. But I got some experience that probably nobody else in this building has. I'm 93 years old. I was 9 years old when this school up here was born. Built. I didn't go, but I had nieces, nephews, and other relatives that did go. But I'm concerned about it. Now have it back like it was, so I can have a chance to go up right to it when they had the senior citizen. So if I'm not a senior citizen, I don't know who is. Now, a little bit more experience. I was involved in integration. I wasn't no slave, nothing like that. But I was involved in integration. I was in Washington, D.C. to help get passed. I was involved in the equal rights. I was in Washington to help get that passed. Okay, now I know what it's all about. And I told Mr. Dykes at the meeting that they had at the 7 Days Adventist Church, I said, son, I know where you're headed before you get there. You are headed to like taking speed back and running against that clock wall with his head. Now, you know what's going to happen. He's the one going to fall. Now, according to the Bible, I'm a word, belief in God's word. Together, we stand.
Amen.
Divided, we fall. Now,
Amen.
we will never accomplish to get that senior citizen back as it was, to give us senior citizens a chance, unless you all join together, help us do the work. You know what I'm talking about? But it can be done. Now, something else I have in my mind, I have no educational-wise book learning, but up here, God gave me a master's degree. Y'all can't fool me. You can't fool me. Now, I've been to all different kinds of international conventions and things of that type. If somebody said something that I didn't understand what he was talking about, when they asked me a question, I would approach that man. I said, make that a little bit plainer so I can understand what you're talking about. Because I had 306, I believe, members of the union, SEIU union, international union, that I was representing. So I was to see that they get what they want. Now,
That's part of the business.
now, I don't mean any harm. Now, I left here in 46 and went to Knoxville. I come back last year. And I was just as lost if I'd have been moving to California. I don't know none of you people. I don't know nobody up here. When I was raised, they said colored people. Now, they got that changed to black people. For why, I don't know. None of my business, so I go according to what the law provides. God's book says, all of you members up there now, councilmen and everybody, that holds office, what kind of oath do you take? To provide the help of the other people. The good book say have no respectable person. So now don't give that man a break and punish me. So don't fix up some other kind of building somewhere and not help fix up our building. So what I'm talking about? There's not but the 2 colored schools that's on the list. This is up here at Tanner High and Allen's Chapel. Okay, when Allen's Chapel, the church has got that under control. So now, you just got one to fix up. Why can't you do it? I have an idea in my head what's coming up next. If that schoolhouse y'all don't have to fix, listen to what I'm telling you people. It's going to be condemned. That's a very valuable property. Not the building, the property. And there's a lot of people already, so I have heard, that wanted that lot. And if you're going to do somebody else a favor instead of us, you're going to condemn it and be torn down. If somebody can come and tear it down and get that asbestos out, you can have it fixed and somebody come and get that took out. If that's the holdup. So now, I don't mean any harm, not talking about nobody, but God is your Savior. And if you don't do unto others as you would have somebody do unto you, instead of you doing it to others before they can do it to you, you'll be held back.
Thank you. Any other comments from citizens? Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion.
We have a second?
I'll say.
Thank you, gentlemen and lady.